All right, we're in June. 6 months to go. Our morale went up more. 112. Whoop, whoop. All right, so here's what happened. I think there's a battle down here. And I'll go over that in a moment. Sorry, I got a little distracted with Jackson being red. So what I'm going to do with Jackson here is going... Oh, sorry, I got so much movement going on the screen. It's hard to freaking out. Okay, so I'm going to explain this in a moment. But we're going to make a move for DC. Crazy, perhaps. There have already been a few times in this game where I have been incredibly aggressive. Some may say reckless, and gotten myself into some trouble that I was not able to easily get myself out of. So let's see what happens. If I can put Jackson on DC's doorstep. I don't think he has much up here. I really don't. And so that puts him in a situation where he's going to have to peel off at least some of this to defend DC or go after Jackson, right? And if that can even buy me, like, you know, say 2-3 more turns, that's a lot. That's a lot at this point, right? Because we've only got 6 months to go, so 12 turns. Okay, so what happened down here? Let's go over that first. Okay, so I attacked him because he was trying to get out of there, and we just absolutely butchered him. So he was on green, so he was trying to get out of there. And sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. I found with this game, if your opponent is on the defensive posture, then yes, you get out there. You get out of there almost every time. But if the player is trying to attack you, like we were here, then I'm not sure what the mechanism is, but sometimes you get out of there, sometimes you don't. In this case, he wasn't able to get out, and then he wasn't able to get out without taking lots of casualties. Because sometimes you'll engage, but they'll get out with, like, you know, round 1 or whatever, and they don't take any casualties. In this case, we were able to do 3 rounds of damage. I lost 3,000. He lost 5,000. So he lost about 40% that turn. So between the last two battles, pretty considerable losses there. And I mean, I don't. Why does it say 3? It said 3 rounds. It was only 1 round. That's weird. So we killed, wow, 17 at range and 2. We didn't lose anybody. We basically wiped out that division there. So that's the first battle there. Okay, so what I'm doing is I move Jackson on by rail up to Fairfax, and I suspect that he does not know that I can, in 1 turn, get Jackson up there. I don't have any other divisions that I can move to, you know, really, I could sacrifice at this point. I could technically probably take Clayburn, but, so by the way, I decided instead of moving him here, I was like, oh, that's risky. So I end up moving him down here, and I moved that artillery piece here because I'm just like, he could attack me and take that. And so probably what I'm going to do with him is probably move him back. But I'm going to move Longstreet forward because I don't think any attack from him is going to come over here. It's all going to be along my western flank here. So I'm going to move Longstreet forward in support of Jackson, have those two there together, and I'm going to do that in part so that Longstreet can support any sort of attack that Jackson has to defend against, but then also give Jackson a retreat lane, right, in the event that things don't look the way we want them to look up here, or he reacts, you know, accordingly and makes it so that we can't make a move on DC, or he's trying to cut Jackson off. Want to make sure that Jackson can get out of there, right? So, and I don't think, okay, yeah, and he can reach him from there. So I think it's okay though, because what we'll do is we'll move Longstreet forward, and then we can always move him back, and then he would have to attack across the river anyways, right? Now, he does not know that this corps is up here, right? He didn't see him going up the rail line, and he doesn't see him back here because we got 100% loyalty in all these places, right? So if he attacks here, he's going to be supported by these two, which it's risky, I know, because he's not supported by him because he's down here. I'm going to move him up with this fortress area here. So basically, I'm moving all my front around right now to better connect all three. I'm gonna probably move him back next turn. If he attacks me, I've got him, you know, on blue-orange, so he should pull out probably relatively quick. But he'll sustain some pretty good casualties, right? Because he's crossing a river and it's in the woods. So he's not going to be able to bring his full force to bear here, whereas I'll have two core supporting here. So I know it's aggressive, perhaps reckless, but and then also I'm bringing cavalry over here, sort of cavalry, and Hampton over here to try and make it so he can't come back and basically, if I can cut off these areas from him, there's no way his force down here can get back to DC. And so then there might be a very good possibility I can make a move on DC. We'll see. We'll see next turn. We'll see how that goes. A lot, and when I say a lot has to cut right for me to be in a position where I can take DC. And I'm really spreading my forces out at a time when he's on the move, which is also putting myself in a very vulnerable situation, which I don't like. But with the size of the stack and then what he has down in Georgia that he can also bring up here in the next couple months, I need to do something to kind of disrupt his advance a little bit and perhaps delay him a few more turns, right? So I saw this ship coming here. I don't think there's anybody on it though. But you know, I got Stewart here, so he should be bombarding him. And I wonder if he did bombard him. Let's see here. I'm just gonna look through here real quick and see if we hit him. Wow, we captured 8,000 rifles and 8,000 prisoners from that battle down here with Lion. That's crazy. Okay, so that's South Carolina. Never mind. Just indulge me for a moment here. I'm just kind of curious. I'll stop looking here in a moment if I don't see it pretty quick. We lost one of our blockade runners in the Atlantic blockade, by the way. That sucks. Okay, anyways, I was trying to see how many hits we put on this guy because we got him, but he apparently didn't sail up that way. He kind of stopped right here, so. Okay, there were some more battles in Virginia, so let's go over those. All right, so here's Claiborne. Took Custer out. Did some pretty good damage on him. We didn't kill anybody, but we inflicted some pretty good casualties, though. A lot of cavalry we took out there. Alright. Yep. Got him again. So we did about 6,000 casualties on him there. That's a lot. Alright. Okay, this is the guy that we're bringing down to potentially threaten our supply depot. And he had a lot more troops than I thought. So I don't know how we won this because we had half the troops. The only thing I can think of is I don't know. That's hard to explain. Hard to explain that one because he's got normal cavalry, late cavalry there, and I just have a bunch of Indians. Which, don't get me wrong, you know, Indians are fun, but that's perplexing. That is questionable to say the least. Yeah, and it was only 1 hour. So I don't know if he ran out of supply. No, I don't know. That's weird. All right, well, he's down here. Maybe he was moving. He might have been moving from here to there, and so we attacked, and so he just kept moving. Maybe that's what happened. So we kind of lucked out, actually. We got pretty lucky on that one. But I think there was another battle with Maybe he went over here? That must have been where he went. Yeah, we tore into him pretty bad. Alright, so that was the last 2 rounds have been really good for us. Now, that being said, right, he's got this coming at me. We pretty much neutralized this force, though. There's nothing down here right now. That feels really good to know that we're not suffering from a pincer movement, which will allow me to move Jackson up here and potentially move on DC, right? Because now he's free to do that. All right, he finally took Charleston back, and I suspect, given how many turns I was able to have Charleston, he will probably leave somebody here now. He will probably leave a division to watch over Charleston now. That was comical, though, how long I had that. Yeah, so Stewart is hosed. I can't get him out. He's quickly running out of food. I can go down here and try and jump across, but then I have to like jump across and then go up here, and then I think like he's not going to let him out. I just don't think he's going to let him out of there. He keeps going further and further south to keep him out. Now, what's kind of weird is, again, he's got this core here under Sherman, and then, Meade, instead of just going after Atlanta and taking Atlanta. So I'm not sure what that's all about, but regardless, right, I am stuck. Stewart's here. He's got 1 division now. I'm going to move these guys, who are obviously really good division commanders. Or, he's decent, but Cheatham's good. I'm going to get them out of theater, hopefully. So I have them kind of going around and about, and then get them up to Virginia so I can equip them with the divisions up there. Because I am training troops in Richmond, which let me go up there and just show you here. So in Richmond, I've got these guys being trained up, right? So I've got a division and a half right now. I think I've got more troops coming in. Moving these guys to the front. But what I can do is move Cheatham and B up, and then take command of those divisions, and then move them to the front. Here's what I have in Atlanta. By the way, I've got 2 divisions. I'll have 3 once I move Stewart up there, right? And then the goal is to just hold out here, and then when he attacks, just retreat to into the city. And I've got 2,000 supply and 900 ammo. So, and a size 1 fort. Now, I would prefer that to be a size 2 fort, and it should have been a size 2 fort. I don't recall why I wasn't able to upgrade it to size 2 fort. But my hope is to stick it out, right? Like, deal with a siege for maybe 2-3 turns, something like that happened down at Charleston. Because again, we only have 12 turns left, and the game's over. So if I can hold out in Atlanta for, say, 5 or 6 more turns, that's going to be really hard for him to get all of this over to Virginia to make a difference on Richmond. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Okay, so now I've moved this forward. He's probably going to be very surprised that this is even over here. So I suspect he can see this because he's got military control 73%. So I don't know if he can see the size of my force, or if he just sees I have a force here, because I do have 100% loyalty. But I think he's going to be very surprised by the size of the force I can push out of here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down the riverway here with Johnston. And unfortunately, I can't get there in 1 day or 1 turn like I had hoped. But I can get there in 18 days. Now, I think in part it's because of the cohesion issues that these divisions have. They're not fully recovered yet. If they were fully recovered, I could probably get down here in 1 turn. But I can't. So I'm going to start it anyways. It's risky. And I say it's risky because if he moves these ships down, either because he sees him moving down the river or accidentally just moves him out of here and bumps into him, he'll get totally massacred, right? He'll be completely obliterated. So it's a risk. I'd like to wait for all of this to get combined, but I'm just gonna push forward now before he realizes I'm here. And quite frankly, I already am down to half supply, so I don't have the option to wait. So I need to get somebody down here to get this supply, right? So that's the goal. And he's got 2,600 power, right? So I can't do anything about Montgomery but I might be able to take Mobile since he doesn't have anybody there right now. But he's also got, you know, some Navy stuff in here apparently. A scouting squadron? Whatever. But we'll see. Alright. Making my way up. I'm going after, going after Memphis here with him. He's got a bunch of light cavalry, you know, 2 line infantry guys, regular cav, and then some artillery. Then I'm tearing up the rail line so that if I attack here and he sees it, maybe this will delay him from reinforcing Memphis. Up here trying to tear up the rail lines as best I can, although, you know, he's already kind of fixing the rail lines I've torn up, unfortunately. And then some of the rail lines I wasn't able to actually tear up, so that it didn't happen. But I got to keep moving because, you know, every time I have, like, for example, him here, although I'm going to destroy this depot, is a turn that he can move someone onto this spot and attack me, right? But I was able to come up here and take out this area. So I'm tearing up the rail line. I'm going after this because there's a depot there. So, you know, he's fully supplied, so he's good. And that's a one-day thing, so I should be able to knock him out. He just has militia there and an artillery battery. I don't know where that guy's going, though. I would imagine he's going up, not down, but we'll see. Hopefully he's going up. Alright, 4 on that, because as you recall, I did the plunder cards, so I had a little bit more money to spend this turn instead of just the 60 cash. So, although, you know, next turn I'm going to have even less money, right? Because I won't have the plunder cards and I won't have Charleston. So, I basically have no money. And then, I'm just going to do the casualties every turn because it's been big battles, right? So, now we're up to 364 for him. I'm up to 309. And then I've captured 44,800 of his troops. His morale is now down to 86. So, it's plummeted pretty considerably these last couple turns. And mine's at 112. And again, for those of you who don't recall, morale is very important because the lower your morale, the less effective your troops are in battle. The higher your morale, the more effective your troops are in battle. So morale is very important beyond just, falling below a certain morale threshold to lose the game. It's also important for how your troops perform in battle. All right, let's run the turn. I think I was using him. Yeah, so I brought him up. I was just trying to maybe catch some supply troops coming down, maybe, you know, just poking around, see if I could get somebody. I think what happened though is I inadvertently ran into one of his navies, and I think it was this guy. Yeah, I think this guy, he was coming down and he tore me up pretty bad, as you can tell. So that did not work out as planned. I was hoping to get some supply ships. Instead, he schwacked me with these guys. But it is what it is. All right, and let's see, how many did I my blockade runners brought me 9 money and 5 war supplies turn. All right, I'll see you next turn.